Well, hello there. It's a Saturday, great weather, not too hot considering how things have been around here lately. And so I am out exploring a new trail for me. I'm up at the Garland Mountain trail system doing the West Trail. And nothing too strenuous with this one, not a lot of elevation. It's a trail that is primarily used for horseback riding, though it does share it with hikers. And based on the parking lot, there's a few horses out here today on the trail, but don't know if I'll encounter them or not. We'll see. But it's something new, and like I said, not too strenuous, which is good for what I'm looking for today. Probably going to get about 10 miles in or so and just enjoy the day. So I'm going to see what this trail has to offer, and we'll let you know as we go. Well, so far it's been a pleasant trail. Well shaded, trails in good condition. Have to dodge the occasional horse leavings, which is no big deal. Have the sounds of gunfire off in the distance. I'm guessing there's a shooting range nearby. One of the reasons why I wore the bright yellow shirt today. You never know. Oh, this is gonna be interesting. I'll just skirt the edge, see if we can avoid getting too messy. Looks like the trail's got some nice amenities set up, and that's always good to see. So yeah, this is so far a pleasant find. I've had this trail on my radar for a bit, but never quite made the leap to get out here. A lot of the trails I was doing previously, I was focusing on a lot of my conditioning, trying to make sure I was getting good elevation trails and such. And this one is not too long of a drive, but a bit of a drive to get to for me. But just a short little bit I'm starting out with. It seems like a nice trail, and one that I'll probably be more than willing to come back and try multiple times, as the situation warrants. But for now, I gotta figure out which direction I'm supposed to go here, so we will check that out and continue on. And continuing on, hit sort of a back loop of the trail, which seems to have a little bit rougher terrain to it, a little bit more of a rocky trail instead of just a smooth flat dirt surface. Also some additional ups and downs for elevation variation, but still relatively achievable hiking conditions, which I'm enjoying. Did see one other couple walking opposite direction from me. Said I was the first human they'd seen out here. Don't know if that meant that they'd seen people on horseback and just not counting that, or if they had truly not seen anyone out here. I know there's a couple of different trails in this network, so the trailers I'd seen out in the parking lot could have horses out on one of the other trails rather than this particular one. So we'll see. There is definite evidence that there have been horses on this trail today, but I just haven't seen any yet, and we will find out if I see any along the way. But for now, it's shady, there's a light breeze, and I'm enjoying myself. Well, I've apparently reached the section of the trail that I guess hasn't been traveled today, or if it was much earlier, because all of a sudden I am doing a lot of silk blazing with webs stretching across the trail. I mean, it's kind of ideally configured with the trees, you know, lined up the way they are alongside the trail here. But yeah, there have been a ton of webs stretching across that, well, I've walked into several of them before I kind of clued into what was going on, and I'm starting to pay a little more attention up ahead of me instead of down ahead of me, and trying to use my trekking poles to deviate webs out of the way so I don't take them in the face. But we'll see if it opens up at all, or loops back around to a more traveled section of the trail. But for now, I'm keeping my head up and paying attention to what's going on. But apparently I was not wrong about the fact that this is not a highly traveled section of the trail, because coming out of the woods, the trail seems to have just disappeared. So I will do my best to follow along. I've got all trails up and am able to navigate by that, and hopefully this undefinitive stretch is not that long. There's a faint sense of maybe tire track remnants here, that where the vegetation's a little bit more down and dead. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. It's a little bit different. Who knows what all little pests I might be picking up along the way as I go through the high vegetation, but we'll be sure and check for that once we're done with it. But for now, time to get warm. No shade here, and the sun is coming down. Somehow in that open area I managed to get off trail, or missed where the trail dipped back into the woods a little bit. And as such, when I came to the sharp, or not so much sharp, but steep embankment here, and had to cut into the woods to where I thought I saw the trail, I ended up having to do a bit of bushwhacking through some rough terrain and lots of webs to get back to meet up with the trail. But back on track now. I think I do a couple of switchbacks here to get down in that direction, and we'll see how this goes. But everything's an adventure. Well, I'm just about through with this loop that I've been on, that is apparently the less traveled section of trail, and going to meet back up with the more regularly traveled section. It's definitely been a little bit more challenging, not only the webs, the navigational challenges, but then this last stretch, I guess the earlier part of this loop had been kind of a general decline that I hadn't really paid much attention to, but I had some pretty sharp ascents coming up this last little bit to meet back up with where the loop closes. And yeah, in the heat, and already been a little bit tired, they were a challenge. Nothing I couldn't achieve, but definitely felt the impact of it. So I'm gonna get back to where the loop closes off, probably take the pack off and rest a bit, get some water, maybe a little snack, and then we'll see how the rest of this finishes out. Continuing on, hitting basically the third loop of this trail after I met back up, closing the loop I had been on. And this one's apparently not been traveled that much either. Trails in rougher shape. There's been some blowdowns to work around, Still a lot of webs around, not much sign of recent traffic. So I guess it's just that main first loop that has been getting traffic of late. So, and still continuing with some rough ascents, which I think I'm mostly past now, and I'm going to be starting mostly a gradual descent back down till I meet up with the originating trail I came in on. So, but yeah, the day's heat has settled in. What little breeze there had been has died down, and combination of all these factors is starting to press in on me a bit. I think I'm a little over 7 miles in, so I've probably got somewhere about 2.5 miles to go, but we'll get through it. But the challenge factors definitely presented itself more so in this second half of the day than the first half. So we'll see what we have to see on the trail, and if I ever manage to meet anyone else. Well, finally on the home stretch, back on the section of trail that led from the parking lot out to the first loop branching. So kind of a general downhill grade, very slight, and back to the good trail conditions to make for an easy transit. It's been a good day out here. I'm a little over 9 miles in right now. Probably have somewhere about a mile left to go, so should be getting over that 10-mile mark. And while the afternoon has been challenging at times, it's not been oppressively so. Just getting me back to feeling that, yeah, it's a challenge, but I've built up to handle these challenges. There's a good feeling that comes with that. But it's been a quiet day. It's been a good day, and it's helped me chip away at that mileage deficit. So I'm going to close it out here and finish this last mile out in a relaxing way. Thanks as always for coming along with me today. We will see you on the next trail.